The Adventures of Tom Sawyer by Mark Twain. Longman Simplified English Series. Read by Thitimaa Phansi. Chapter 14. The Storm. About midnight, Joe awoke and called the boys. There was vastly stillness in the air that seemed to threaten something. The boys sought the friendly companionship of the fire, in spite of the dead heat of the breathless air. They sat still and expectant. Beyond the light of the fire, everything was swallowed up in the blackness. Presently, a weak flash of lightning dimly lit the tree for a moment and vanished. Another came a little stronger, then another. Then a faint moon came sighing through the branches, and the boys trembled, fancying that some spirit of the night had gone by. There was a pause. Now a terrible flash turned night into day, and showed separate and distinct every little grass blade that grew about their feet. It showed trees white, startled face too. A deep roll of thunder went crashing across the sky and lost itself in the distance. A cold breeze sprang up. It shook all the leaves and scattered ashes about the fire. Another fire flash lit up the forest, and a crash followed that seemed to tear the tree tops right over the boys' heads. They held on to each other in terror in the thick gloom that followed. A few big raindrops fell upon the leaf. "Quick, boy, go for the tent!" exclaimed Tom. They leapt away, stumbling over roots in the dark, each dashing in a different direction. A furious wind rolled through the tree, making everything sing, and it went. One building flash after another came, and row upon row of defending thunder, and now the rain poured down, and the rising wind drove it in sheets along the ground. The boys cried out to each other, but the howling wind and the roaring thunder drowned their voices utterly. However, one by one they struggled in at last, and took shelter under the tent, cold, frightened, and streaming with water. The old sail beat about so furiously that they could not talk, even if the other noise had allowed them. The storm rose higher and higher, and presently the sail tore loose from it, flattening, and went flying away on the wind. The boys seized each other's hands and fled, with many stumbling and bruises, to the shelter of a great oak that stood upon the river bank. Now the battle was at its highest. Under the ceaseless flash that flamed in the sky, everything below the bending trees, the river white with foam, the dim outline of the cliff on the other side seen through the racing cloud, and the wheels of rain, stood out in clean. Some gantry yielded in the fight and fell crashing through the younger growth. The thunder came now, in ear-splitting, explosive bursts, pitilessly keen and unspeakably awful. The storm ended with one gigantic of force that seemed likely to tear the island to pieces, burn it up, throw it to the treetops, blow it away, and defend every creature in it, all at one and the same moment. It was a wild night for homeless young heads to be out in. But at last the battle was over, and the force of nature retired. With vigor and vigor trees and peace returned, the boy went back to camp a good deal away. But they found that there was still something to be thankful for, because the great tree which had been the shelter of their beds was a ruin now, split by the lightning. Everything in the camp was wet through, the campfire as well. Here was a disaster, for they were wet to the skin and shivering. However, they covered the skin that the fire had eaten so far up, and great log against which it has been builded a few inches had escaped wetting. They patiently worked at it with leaf and bark canter from the underside of shelter logs until they persuaded it to burn again. Then they peeled on great dead branches till they had a roaring blast. They dried their food and had a feast. After that they sat by the fire and glorified their midnight adventure until morning, for there was not a dry spot to sleep on anywhere around. As the sun grew stronger, the boy felt sleepy, and they went out on the sandbar and lay down. They were soon burned out by the sun, and wearily began to prepare breakfast. After the meal they felt stiff-jointed, and a little homesick once more. Tom saw the sign and tried to cheer up the pirates as well as he could, but they cared nothing for marble, or circus, or swimming, or nothing, or anything. He proposed that they should stop being pirates for a time and be Red Indian for a change. They were attracted by his idea. It was not long before they were stripped from head to heel with black mud, all of them chief, of course. And then they went dashing through the woods and attacked an English settlement. Afterward, they separated into 3 rival tribes and sprang out upon each other from hiding places with dreadful war cry. and kill and skin each other by thousands. It was a bloody day, and therefore was a satisfactory one. They assembled in camp towards supper time, hungry and happy, but now a difficulty arose. Indian tribes at war with each other could not break together without first making peace, and this was simply an impossibility without smoking a pipe of peace. Two of the redskins almost wished that they had remained pirates. However, there was no other way, so with as much cheerfulness as they could pretend, they called for the pipe and took their puff, as it passed with proper ceremony. They were glad that they had become redskins, for they found that they could now smoke a little without having to go and hunt for a lost knife. They did not get sick enough, but enough to be seriously uncomfortable. They practiced cautiously after supper with fair success, and so they spent a joyful evening.